Hey everybody, Shawn Holsinger here from holsingersflyshop.com. Bringing you a fly tying video this week. It's a very simple pattern. It's a fish catching pattern. It's the Flashback Zebra Midge. Very simple. Anybody can tie it and anybody should tie it because it works. So I'm not going to talk a whole lot here at the beginning. I'm going to get into tying it at the end of it. I'm going to show you some color variations that I tied this in and tell you a little bit more about it. So here you're going to see a picture of the fly, then material list to tie it. Okay, here you see the Flashback Zebra Midge in the vise. Very cool, very simple pattern, very good fish catching nymph, especially in the summertime. You can do it with or without the wing case on the back here. Use a little bit of Sally Hansen or Golf, whatever you use to do your wing cases, whatever works for you best, go with it. I'm going to tie a different color here. I showed you earlier in the intro there. I tied this in a multitude of different colors. This is one color that I know I'm going to like this year, especially a dirty water color. I'm going to start out with a Holsinger's Fly Shop Scud Pupa hook, size 16. Size 16, 18, that's the size I want to fish these in. This is a 16, 2.5 bead. This is metallic blue, moonlit bead here. Come in with some black thread. Use 70 Denier, or this is Semperfli Nano Silk, 12-aught black. Whatever you like to work with. And what I do is I bring my thread up here. You can see right there, you can see the slot. I'm tying with a slotted bead on a regular hook here, and that's fine. What I do is I just take my thread in that slot and keep going, keep wrapping it around until it catches on the bottom. It'll eventually stop there on the bottom, and then I just build my thread up. And by keeping it on the bottom there, you can see how it's down on the bottom of the hook. It's going to take a little bit of less weight. It's still going to ride kind of like a jig, so you're still going to be in good shape here. So build a little bit to hold that into place. Come back with your thread back towards the bend, and we're going to put a tail on this. For the tail, using a pheasant tail, taking about 5 fibers off the pheasant tail, making sure the tips are all aligned there, and just going to set it up on top of the fly and tie it down. So get it close to where you think you want it. That's a little long. Just going to shorten it up some. A couple bends. Get it around the hook. I want it to go around the hook a little bit. Still just a hair longer than I want. So shorten it up some. Like that. I like that a lot. And then tie it down. Then you can just pull them and pop them right off. Now, for the flashback part, coming in with some Holo tinsel. This is medium teal blue. Just going to get this to lay up on top, make a loose wrap. Make a couple loose wraps here, whatever I need to do to get it up there. Hold my finger on it a little closer. That works better. Get it up on top and wrap it down back to that tail, keeping it nice and straight up on top. Now I'm going to add a rib to this. For a rib, I'm going with some small blue ultra wire and just wrap that back to the tail again. Now I'm using this Nano Silk, which is like 70 Denier, so I'm keeping my thread thin so I don't build up too much body. But you can see I got a nice slight taper from the tail up to the bead. That's exactly what I want. Lay my Holo tinsel up over the back and tie it off right behind that bead. And I actually kind of want to tie it just a little bit to the side closest to me, because as I wrap this wire, it's going to pull over a little bit. So I will tend to wrap it towards me just a hair, and then I'm going to make nice even spaced wraps up through here, spacing out, giving me a nice rib, and getting that right up behind the bead. Once I get it up there behind the bead, a couple wraps, pop it off, and then I'm going to tie that Holo tinsel back 2 or 3 wraps to wrap back over itself. Trim it off, and then I'm just going to whip finish. Now, this is a nice black fly, so I really don't need that black wing case on here. So I'm just going to finish it off like this. If you wanted to, if you're tying a different color like an olive or watery olive or something like that, like I said, go with your Sally Hansen, put a little wing case up top. But there you see, very cool looking fly. Got your nice rib on the bottom, but you got that little bit of extra flash on the top that's going to trigger the fish. Okay guys, very simple pattern. Just a little simple twist on an old standard. You know, the original zebra midge doesn't have a tail. Just throw a nice little tail on there. And that little bit of flash just helps trigger things. You know, I like using flash wherever I can. As soon as I saw this, I actually saw this on an Instagram post. I think it was a Swedish guy that shared it. Very cool looking pattern. I was like, well, I know I'll catch a ton of fish on that. It fits right into my wheelhouse, my way of thinking. Here you're going to see a couple different color variations that I tied it in already. Some browns, whites, black and reds. I like black and red a lot too. That works well for me. And olives, of course. Watery olive and a regular olive, both of them. Just play around, see what works in your area. It's going to catch fish because it's small. Pump the stomach of a trout sometime. If you ever get the chance, pump the stomach of a trout. See how much of the content of it is small stuff. You would be totally surprised. Unless there's a major hatch coming off, you know, if the green drakes are coming off, that's all they're eating, of course it's going to be full. But normal day-to-day fishing, when you're not seeing any activity on the surface and stuff like that, pump the stomach of a fish you catch and you're going to find out it's full of midges, like zebra midges and stuff like that. So do not be afraid to go small. The smaller you go, the more fish you're going to catch. I promise you on that one, once you get into learning how to fish them correctly. So if you have any questions about that, how I fish my rig or whatever, reach out to me, holsingersflyshop.com. How I fish one single 2.5 millimeter bead. My rig, my setup for it right now, that's the way I fish a lot of times, just with one 2.5 millimeter bead, and I catch a lot of fish. So I got a really cool setup. If you're interested in learning that, you can hook up with me for a guide trip. So you want any kind of that information, reach out to me at holsingersflyshop@gmail.com. Be more than happy to help you out there. So if you need any material to tie it, of course, you can find it all at our shop at holsingersflyshop.com. So until next week when I bring you another fly tying video, I'm Shawn Holsinger.